Welcome back. You're listening to the Living Zen podcast. These talks arise out of my teaching work with Zen West Buddhist Society, a Zen practice community based on Vancouver Island. You can learn more about Zen West at www.zenwest.ca. The Living Zen podcast is available at livingzen.libsyn.com, as well as on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your podcasts. If you'd like to support this work more directly, I also share additional teachings, reflections, and behind-the-scenes writing through Red Mountain Way, my Patreon space. Becoming a patron there helps support the time, energy, and care that goes into these talks. And now, let's step into the Zendo together.
Before I begin tonight, just a few notes on form. When we're sitting in the Zendo, everything in Zen, as I've been talking about over the past few weeks, there are protocols, I guess you could call them. The way that we engage in the physical manifestation of practice is through the body. And Zen, in a lot of ways, is very precise. There's nothing really accidental or haphazard, I guess you could say, in the Zendo. So, just as I've been talking about different hand postures, different mudras, as we're moving, as we're practicing, the hand posture, palm to palm, gassho is called in Japanese, gassho. Hands palm to palm. This is the physical manifestation of the active principle, the plus activity, as one of my teachers would call it. So whenever we're moving towards something, whenever we're moving into something, we're using gassho, the active hands. And the other posture I was just talking about we did during walking meditation is called sasshu, which is the right hand flat on the abdomen, the solar plexus, the left hand covering. Your thumbs kind of interlock, and your forearms are parallel to the ground. And all the postures in Zen practice, they're meant to be sort of active. We want to really... it's easy as we sit to kind of get really into our heads, disconnected from our bodies. We can get really internal. And so the postures, the way that we move about in Rinzai Zen is very embodied. So when you're walking in gassho, when you step into the Zendo, when you step into the meditation hall, you bring your hands together, palm to palm. It's not kind of like a casual maneuver. You're really sort of bringing your attention, kind of this activity of bringing things that are apart together, and there's like an awareness, a physical embodiment when we're walking. Likewise, when we're doing sasshu, when we're doing the sort of minus, the receptive activity, there's also a sort of and this goes back again, so you've got the right hand is the active hand, considered the active hand. The left hand is the receptive hand. So when we're going into sasshu, this active hand goes on the bottom, right on your solar plexus. And the left hand is covering it. But there's this sort of awareness, this embodiedness in that posture. Your upper body, your back, your shoulders are still sort of rolled back. You're standing up straight. There's an embodiedness, and it's difficult, I think. Particularly, I spend a lot of time working on a computer, and so the whole body kind of caves in like this. And so it's always, when I come to sit, I have to consciously roll my whole body open again, bringing my heart forward into the practice, so that you've got this heart forward with a very solid, straight, strong back. A soft, open heart and a strong back. So we've got the plus activity and we've got the minus activity. And when we come to sit in the Zendo, we have zero. And so when we're sitting, the mudra in Zen, the cosmic mudra, it's called, your right hand, again, this active hand is on the bottom, and the left hand is overlapping about your middle knuckles. And again, there's this liveliness, this energetic quality about the embodiment of the posture as we sit. The thumbs form a circle so that you've got this, the whole world in your hands, you might say. The cosmos is in your hands. And the thumbs are just gently touching, just enough to hold a piece of paper. And that's an awareness point, so that as you're sitting, you're aware of this very light contact here. It's a point of awareness as you sit. And as you sit, you'll notice that your thumbs may drift apart. And just like everything else, it's not bad. You haven't done anything wrong. It is the way that the form can call us back. The form is a partner to us in practice, saying, oh, are you here? What happened there? Where did you go? And you don't need to figure it out. You don't need to make an account of your misdeeds or anything like that. You just go, oh, my thumbs have come apart, and you bring them back together. Sometimes your whole hands will squish down into the pancake mudra, and you just recognize that. And usually your hands are a real indication of what's going on inside. If you see hands like this, a person is usually kind of feeling a little bit squashed, a little bit depressed, a little bit energetically depleted. And so just being aware of that, bringing your hands, your mudra, opening it up again, allowing there to be space. Your thumbs are about at the level of your belly button. I'm sorry if this is a repeat for the newcomers. I'm sure this is like, you just had this teaching, I'm sure. So your thumbs are at the level of your belly button, and that spot, the lower dantian, or the hara in Japanese, is just, see, in these robes I have a knot to remind me, so I have my knot right in the middle of my mudra here. And so I'm sitting in a half lotus posture, so my foot is actually right here. And so the reason it's called the lotus posture is because the leaves of the flower all center around this spot, this hara, the mudra center. So my back of my hand is actually resting on my heel, and my back can be nice and straight in that posture. This is why the lotus posture is really the great posture. But it's not necessary. You just have to be aware how your body is different. If you're sitting Burmese, like Patrick is here, or if you're sitting seiza on your knees, or if you're sitting in a chair, it doesn't matter. The dynamics, it's upper body dynamics mostly. You want to make sure that your thumbs are there and that you're holding your hands up so that they're at that place. You don't want to be squeezing from your shoulders, because that'll cause a lot of tension in your trapezius muscles, your neck muscles, your upper back, and you get that nice dagger between the shoulder blades feeling if you do that. So you really want to make sure that everything is kind of hanging off of your neck, and that you're just holding your hands up from the elbows. And this is not just like, it doesn't come like overnight. You've really, your body is so used to all of the things that we're doing, looking at our devices and typing on our laptops and sitting in chairs that aren't really made for us to sit in. We don't sit on the floor, so our backs get really tired and weak. And so being gentle with your sitting practice and cultivating the awareness in your body and even the strength in your body just to be able to do sitting. Start small, do a little bit every day. It doesn't have to be meditation even. If you can get yourself sitting cross-legged or sitting on the floor or sitting in a way where you're using your own muscles to hold your back up just for a couple minutes. Just being aware of that posture, just sitting straight, being able to breathe into your abdomen, couple minutes. Just the length of a song or something like that. And the more you do this, the more your body kind of finds that posture. And what you'll find is that as you sit, this posture is really powerfully energetic. It allows the the energy of your body to flow really naturally up and down with your breath from the very tip of your tailbone, even beyond that, down into the earth, all the way up to the crown of your head and even sort of beyond. You're like sitting on this post, and all of your muscles are actually kind of relaxed in this position. And this is, the easiest way to actually get into a place where you can sit for a longer period of time is actually working with your body to sort of find this naturally straight place where everything just kind of hangs. You're actually using very little muscles. And that mudra, in the seiza position, the kneeling posture, for example, sometimes you really have to hold your hands up. And you can actually take cushions and sit them on your lap if you find that your hands naturally kind of want to fall down. And if you see that, as soon as I lower my hands down, my shoulders naturally kind of roll in. And then the longer I sit, the whole body will start to just curve in, until you start. So you want to really just open your chest up, roll your shoulders back, keep your hands at that central place. So maybe that can just weave right into where I left off last week, which is really looking at what I called last week the animacy of Zen, and how we can approach Zen in a very kind of technical, scientific way. But in a lot of ways, the way that Zen is practiced is to embody the teaching in the activities that we're doing. So I talk about the active hand, the passive hand. I've talked about the form when we're doing bows or prostrations, the awareness of left and right in everything that we're doing. When we're stepping towards something, stepping with our left foot first, the activity of receptivity, walking towards something, that we're not stepping forward with the self, with the I. When we step back onto the meditation cushion, we're stepping back with the left foot. You don't need to remember all this stuff. This is like, if you keep doing this for a long time, you'll learn it. But I'm just trying to give an example of how much the form of the practice has been considered and developed as a manifestation of this teaching, this activity, this awareness of the activity of birth and death. The activity of arising and existing for a period, and then the activity turning and dissolving, disappearing, arising again, over and over and over. And it's manifested in everything that we're doing. When we're walking, we're just, there is this practice of taking a step, and being aware of that pause in between and taking a step. Connecting with our breath, which is constantly this activity of breathing in and arising, being born, feeling our breath come to the top. We can't breathe anymore in. There's a little pause, and then the activity turns and we breathe out. We exhale all the way until we can't exhale anymore. And then the activity naturally turns and we breathe in. Over and over. Seems so simple. But this is the first kind of expression of the Dharma activity. That which is of the nature to be born is of the nature to die. And we practice this in everything that we're doing. We practice it in our walking, we practice it in our chanting, that humming that we do, that activity of just exhaling and making sound until we can't make the sound anymore, and then without panic, without feeling like we need to hold everything up, just taking a breath as we feel ourselves again. Everybody else is chanting, so they're supporting us, and then we have our breath and we make our sound again, ah, or whatever it is that we're doing. And over again, this activity of birth and death, of coming and going, of inhaling and exhaling. When we're bowing, when I'm doing these prostrations in front of the Butsudan, recognizing this activity of arising in yoga, that's mountain posture. So it's really like manifesting as clearly and strongly and presently, here I am, and then allowing myself, dissolving completely, melting down to the ground, exhaling completely, emptying out the activity of death. And it doesn't stop there. And then we're reborn. We stand up again, all the way up to the mountain posture. So, geez, these talks are so short. Okay, so we experience this. The longer we live, the more we're able to experience this activity functioning within us in the course of our lives. How many, for myself, I guess I can say, there are many times that I have been born. I've been many people in this life. And I've witnessed that person broken apart and falling down and dying. And the person that I absolutely was sure I was has needed to completely fall apart. And I've held on and I've clung to it. And inevitably, that person does. They dissolve away. And a new person, a new me, arises. And it's strange. And just like Patrick's grandson, the light seems bright and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know where I am. And I have to learn how to use my body, use my skills again. I have to learn how to relate to the world all over again. So it's not just this one time that we're born into this life and this one time that we die out of this life. This activity of plus and minus is happening in every moment, in everything that we do. And so the form of this practice, from the time that we come in the door, we're engaging in a kind of physical, I don't want to use the term symbolic because it's not symbolic, it's an actual manifested experience of this activity of plus and minus in everything that we're doing in the Zendo, in the way that we carry our bodies, in the way that we take up our posture, in the activity of how we're doing our breathing, in how we relate to the other people and other than human beings that are in the practice space. Aware of this activity, even our consciousness, born into this moment, awareness of what's actually happening in the room, and then kind of dissolving out of the room, going wherever it is that it might go with you, and bringing our mind back, being born into the space of the Zendo again, and dissolving wherever it goes again. And again, I want to really emphasize, because we can get, I think, coming from kind of materialist productivity, success-oriented sort of mindset, we can really easily fall into right and wrong. I'm doing it right, I'm doing it wrong, I'm good at this, I'm no good at this. And that really isn't the game. Our practice is to be aware of just what it is, just what's unfolding in this moment. If you're breathing a shallow breath, that's not wrong. Being aware that it's a shallow breath is the practice. If your posture has collapsed and you're half asleep, it's not wrong. Becoming aware, tuning in, oh wow, look at my body. Just coming back, checking back in, stepping back into your life and the practice. Right. That's the practice. Okay, I'm well past time, so thank you very much. I hope to see you again next week.
As we come to the end of this talk, I want to say thank you for listening. I'm deeply grateful for those who support this work, whether through Red Mountain Way, through Zen West, or simply by listening and practicing. Your support makes it possible for these teachings to continue. Another meaningful way to support the podcast is just by sharing it, telling friends about Living Zen, passing an episode along, or sharing it on social media. Your comments, your likes, and shares are always appreciated. I do read them, and they help others find their way into connection and community around this practice. If you're looking for more direct, one-to-one support in your Zen practice, you can learn about my work offering Zen support through Monarch Trancework. And however you're engaging, whether you're just listening or practicing, whether you're supporting or sharing, thank you. I look forward to continuing this practice together.